Hello there, this is Father Ken Lau, and welcome to the new episode of Nuggets for the Soul. And this is the second part of the three-part series for the relational prayer on how to pray. And so the first two parts of the relational prayer is the acknowledge and also the relate. Okay, so the A and the R. So today we're going to talk about the third of the relational prayer, which is to receive. Okay, but first, everyone, really, when you go to prayer, you really have to cultivate silence. Okay, to be able to listen. Cardinal Robert Sarah once said that when creation knows how to place itself in silence, God makes His voice heard. Okay, so not just physical silence, but also the silence in our hearts. Okay, and by that we'll be able to listen using our spiritual senses. So now we're gonna go on the third part of the relational prayer, which is to receive. Okay, receive what the Lord is telling you, and this is very important. Okay, because for you to be able to dialogue with God, you need to hear Him speak to you, so that you'll be able to respond to Him. And I would like to suggest to you using Lectio Divina. So what's Lectio Divina? Lectio Divina is a Latin that stands for divine reading. And the purpose of Lectio Divina is to be able to commune with God and to dialogue with Him using this method, but also to be able to study Scripture. And so there are four parts in the Lectio Divina. The first one is reading, and the Latin for that is lectio, wherein you read preferably a verse in the Gospel. I recommend to you using the Gospel for the daily Masses, the readings for the daily Masses, and then just read it several times. And then as you're reading it, whatever stood out, make the note of it. Okay, and that's the first part, which is the lectio, which is the reading. Now you go to the second part, which is meditating, and the Latin word for that is meditatio. Okay, and you meditate on it, and you have to ask the question, what does it say to me? What does it, whatever is standing out, whatever is touching your heart, the Lord is saying something to you through that scripture. Okay, and how does it connect to your life? So that's meditating. Now, the third part of the Lectio Divina is the oratio, the Latin word for prayer. Okay, you need to commune with God and speak to Him, based on what you are hearing from Him. Okay, and then the fourth part is of the Lectio Divina is contemplatio, which is the Latin for contemplation. This is the goal of Lectio Divina, and you won't be able to force yourself into contemplation, because this is a gift from God. And contemplation is basically gazing and looking at Him, and Him looking at us. And this is a grace given to us by God. Okay, so this is contemplation or contemplatio in Latin. So this is the four part of the Lectio Divina, and by using the Lectio Divina, you are receiving from God what He is telling you. Okay, and now we're on the next part, which is the third part of the relational prayer. I'll speak to you about the fourth part of the relational prayer, which is to respond. Okay, so stay tuned to that next episode. Be a living saint. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, we trust in you.